This is the premium, luxurious, more sophisticated off-road focus truck. The Sierra 1500 has received a very nice update, and with that they've brought out two new trims. There is the top tier Sierra Denali Ultimate, which is very much the luxury version, but this one here is the AT4X, a new off-road focused trim that sits above the AT4. For the AT4X, you get a standard 6.2 liter V8 paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. It makes 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. This last week, we've been driving the AT4X all around, living with it, seeing what it's like. Unfortunately, no off-roading this week with the AT4X. I did get to take the Silverado ZR2 off-roading recently, and that was a lot of fun, so check out that review. Even though this is more off-road focused, we're seeing what it's like to live with in the real world. But let's talk about some of the performance, hardware, the capabilities of the AT4X, what makes it special. So we have segment exclusive front and rear locking differentials, a 2-speed transfer case, more suspension travel, more ground clearance compared to the AT4, and obviously the regular Sierra 1500. We've got these 32-inch tires with different 18-inch wheels. It's got some skid plates to protect important vital things down below. So overall, they've set this up to be more off-road rugged and focused and capable, but not quite like a Baja truck. Don't compare this to the Ford Raptor or the Ram TRX. This is the premium, luxurious, more sophisticated off-road focus truck, but not quite purely dedicated for that. So plenty capable, but still has that refinement that you would expect out of a GMC. In terms of exterior styling, this has a nice refresh, new fascia up front, new grille, blacked out with the GMC lettering there, new headlights with a C-shaped DRLs, give this a nice wide stance to it. As an AT4X trim, we have the red tow hooks up front and quite a lot of AT4X badges both on the outside and inside. This cayenne red paint looks really nice with the black contrast there. It's also pretty big truck, increased ride height, bigger tires, like it's hefty. Parking it, you have to take some precision and attention when you're parking a truck this big. Around back, we have that very multi-function tailgate too, which when you open it up, it's easy to step into it. It's pretty cool. Once you figured out how to use it all, there's a couple buttons and latches and things like that. The AT4X and Sierra overall 1500 to me is the more refined, kind of sophisticated look versus something like the Silverado ZR2, which is a lot more aggressive and in your face. This is the more professional version, right? That's what the GMC is supposed to be. With that, let's hop inside the truck. We'll take it for a drive, talk about the interior, some of the technology, what it's like to drive, and lastly, the value. I am a big fan of the interior upgrades that GMC has made to the Sierra and actually all of the new GM trucks. The Silverado also has a very nice new interior. For the longest time, the GM trucks weren't that competitive in terms of interior tech and features, and especially the screens. This new 13.4-inch center infotainment screen is fantastic. We've got wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, built-in Google too, so Google Maps and Google Voice Assistant. And I really like how with a landscape 13.4-inch screen, when I'm running CarPlay on the left, you still have this right side like widget which you can toggle between the clock or trailer control or things like that. So it's not just wasted screen space. It's really, really nice. And then we have physical buttons below too, which I also love, that control things like my heated seats, cooled seats, your climate settings there, and another row of toggle buttons that have my differential controls, my hill descent control, and things like that. The center screen is also fully digital. In front of me, the cluster, that is a 12.3-inch digital cluster, very nice too. The startup animation video is cool. Some of the new GM upper level vehicles have really, really nice startup graphics. This one starts in the middle like the mountain, the little red line running around, and it cascades out into the GMC logo. Also, a 15-inch diagonal heads-up display rounds out some of the display technology inside the new GMC Sierra. Materials also need to be nicer for this to be a GMC versus a Silverado, and this has a lot of really cool leather, different textures. We have regular just leather with some stitching, white accent piping, and there's this like textured, really cool leather here on the doors, on the center console. The seats have red stitching accents, also white stitching, and that textured leather. A lot of AT4X badges, like I mentioned. Some exposed wood trims. You can see some of the texture. This interior is definitely nicely laid out. Are there some GM parts bin pieces? Absolutely. Like the controls for the headlight and drive modes and things like this, and a lot of that stuff ends up shared, which is okay, but they also have a lot of nicer materials. Now, I haven't been in the GMC Denali Ultimate for the Sierra. I did get to check out the one for the Yukon, and that interior definitely is starting to bridge the gap between the Denali and the Cadillac Escalade. Even nicer things inside there. That being said, as an AT4X trim, I don't think this is really missing much. I just turned on my massage seats, so the front seats are 16-way power adjustable, heated, cooled, and massage, which is definitely very premium in an off-road truck. So I would say the takeaway of interior features and design and everything of this AT4X trim is it's like premium luxury. Bose sound system, it's very nice in here. Obviously quite spacious. Oh, also suede headliner, which is also a nice touch. In terms of technology, what does the AT4X have? Well, quite a bit. The AT4X, one big, I guess you lose out on it, but this is the off-road version, you don't get Super Cruise. It's standard on the Denali Ultimate and optional on the Denali. GM's really advanced, very, very nice hands-free driving on a supported mapped freeway. So I've experienced that in the Hummer EV, the Cadillac Escalade V. And if you have a Denali Ultimate, you can have Super Cruise. AT4X does not get it. Super Cruise is pretty awesome. This still has lane keeping, adaptive cruise control, and things like that. So it's still got plenty of features. Surround view cameras also. More than just surround view. You get the front corners, you get the bed, you get the trailer. All of those features and functionality are in here because this can still tow just under 9,000 pounds of tow rating. It's like 1,420 pounds of payload, I think, with the shortened bed back there. So plenty of capability, plenty of technology all around. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, the shifter here. This is exactly the same, I believe, as the GMC Hummer and the Silverado ZR2, and it's really cool. It's nice. I like the shifter. It's a really clean center console, too. We just have the trailer sway, the shifter, some cup holders, wireless charging pad. Like, I'm a big fan of this cascaded center layout. They have physical buttons. Not everything is buried behind a touchscreen and a menu, and it's not too busy, and it's plenty practical, a lot of storage space. In terms of what is this like to drive, I've been on the road. So streets, highways, things like that, going to and from work, heading to dinner. No off-roading here, so we don't get to fully utilize the off-road focused tires or the DSSV dampers. That being said, it does ride pretty comfortably. So the first time I think I experienced the spool valve dampers was, I believe, in the Camaro Z28, which I think had them, and then definitely the ZL1 1LE. And it's an extremely capable track car, but if you own a ZL1 1LE and you don't live on a racetrack, you probably need to have your chiropractor on speed dial because they are firm. Now, for the off-road use, it's very quick to respond and things like that, and they're really capable too. On the road, to me, this AT4X has rode pretty comfortably. I was actually pretty impressed. I'm sure it's a combination of the suspension dampers along with the tires and things like that, and Midwest roads suck. Sometimes these roads look like they just plowed them and just left them that way with craters and potholes big enough to swallow an entire, like, Chevy Cruze. But I think this Sierra has been very comfortable, and the road noise isn't terrible. Sometimes I hear a little bit more of the hum from the tires because they are more off-road focused tires. Nothing unbearable. I think overall it's still quite composed. Now, I'm sure the Sierra Denali Ultimate will be even more luxurious, but overall, I think it drives pretty nicely. It is big, very tall, pretty wide. Nothing like the Ram TRX or the Ford Raptor, which those things are massive. So this is still a contained, like, regular width Sierra. It is a little bit taller, but overall driving this has been pretty good. It's not the most efficient. I've been averaging low teens MPG. I believe it's rated at like 15 combined, 14 and 18, something like that. So it's got a big V8, right? There are other powertrain options available for the refresh Sierra. This one, as the AT4X, has the 6.2, but there's an updated high output 2.7, I believe, and I believe you can get the Duramax, also the 3-liter. In terms of value, these aren't cheap. Price, this one's right around $77,000 for the AT4X. So that's quite a substantial increase in price compared to the Sierra AT4. But you get these DSSV dampers, and it is the new top tier trim of the AT4X Sierra off-road focused one. Is it a good value? It's hard because you're touching upon Raptor money there, which is much more capable. But what this does have going for it is way more luxury and premium and nicer materials compared to any other of these trucks in this segment here. So If you're looking for something that you're not necessarily going to get dirty and off-road all the time, you want some of the more sophisticated, professional-grade niceness, go for the Sierra. The new updates are great. Like, the screens are fantastic. I've spent time in the previous gen ones, and those aren't as nice. They stepped it up here for sure, without a doubt. Plenty of space. I mean, second row seats are massive too. These trucks are huge. The multi-function tailgate is also really nifty. The bed is plenty spacious. I'm going to probably put my wheels and tires from the Ari in there later today to bring them home. It checks a lot of the boxes. I think it's a very nice all-around truck. I wish I could take this off-road, but I'm kind of extrapolating out what the ZR2 was like, which is more capable, but it also has the DSSV dampers and some of the functionality there. So this to me is the more premium version of that. I hope you guys enjoy this review. I've liked driving this Sierra 1500 for a week. It's definitely, I mean, for 77 grand, it better be nice. And it delivers. It delivers quite well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you also check out my Silverado ZR2 review. That was a lot of fun off-roading. Thanks for watching. Okay, Google, turn on my massage seats.
Okay, I can play that on YouTube Music, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Which one do you want to use?
Wait, no, cancel. Cancel, cancel. Okay, so maybe that didn't work. Okay, Google, turn on my heated seats.
Sorry, I can't control that in this car.
What? It worked in the Cadillac.